solves it, you're fine.
Okay, and that's exactly why we have an audio test. We have an audio test to make sure that we don't record for 30 minutes and then realize that we had no audio. It's a good thing we didn't
lip sync what we were saying.
and not a chance. Okay. Hello, it's Guru Brando and sometimes curious guest Q for another episode of Positively Entertaining Conversations. And not really sure what we're going to talk about, but we're going to start somewhere and probably end up in entirely a whole nother area. But we'll get you somewhere and it'll be fun. So today for me, I talked to Uncle Derek just a little while ago.
Derek?
Yeah, Uncle Derek. Derek, back in Texas.
Okay.
Wow.
I didn't know he was uncle.
Well, that's what I call him to the little boys.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I've
Uncle
never
Derek.
heard that once.
Okay, it's because
funny.
he's not related at all. He's just been a friend for eternity. Like as long as Beth has, we've been friends. He was best friend and my friend. Even lived with me for a little bit, and so we're like brothers. Anyway, so that's why I said uncle. Okay, so I talked to him today, and literally nothing has changed for him. He said, nothing. He hasn't gotten a pet. He doesn't have a house plant. He is doing the same shit, different day. Probably not supposed to say that. Sorry, guys. Same stuff, different day. But I always, when he tells me that, and he's saying, that nothing major's going on, and he doesn't really have anything to report. We haven't talked in several months, and nothing really to report. When he does that, it creates an image in my head. Does it for you?
A dimly lit apartment it's very clean, but there's also very little things in it.
Well, you incredibly described Derek, to a T. Well, that, you know a bit about him. He's an only child. And he often talks about being an only child in the context of, I know I'm selfish. I know it's got to be about me, me, me. He's like, I'm sorry, only child. I'm a brat. It's okay. And it's fun. It's funny. Yeah, but it's true. He really lives up to that stereotype.
Wow.
Well, he does. He lives up to it, and he'll own it. I mean, he's got no shame in it, and he shouldn't. He's worked hard for everything that he has.
Yeah.
So if he can afford it,
that kind of cancels it out.
Yeah, if he can afford to just do what he wants to do, and be okay with that, then he's not hurting anyone, and he's not hurting himself. But to me, sometimes I worry because he has also had some depression issues in the past that led to health issues very similar to mine. I began to have health issues and diabetes, etc., etc. And then we finally realized that because I was in depression, I was not taking very good care of myself and my diet, all this. During the pandemic, it's even worse because you can't do the things you're used to doing.
Yeah.
And so my concern and worry always goes to, oh no, is he taking care of himself? And it's not my place to worry. I'm sure he is. However, if friends did not concern themselves about you and you were in a bad place, wouldn't you want someone there to be interested in you and say you're worth it?
Yeah.
And sometimes, do you ever say to yourself, oh, they're depressed again, I'll just let them suffer through it? Or, oh, they're alone. They're happy with it. They're happy that, they feel alone. Do you ever say it's okay?
It depends on the friend. If I've dealt with them before, and when I don't like to get involved in that stuff. But if it's like, a close friend.
Don't vape.
If it's a close friend, I'm like, yeah, sure, man, what's up? But like, if they keep falling in the same trap, and I've given them all the advice I can give them, like, I'm just like, I can't.
Right. And we shouldn't
And it's like,
always.
I'm here for you, man, but I'm not giving you any more advice. I'm just gonna chill.
Right, and that's when you decide to stop accepting the responsibility of the person. When you say, I'm out, you're gonna do your own thing anyway, then you're saying, hey, you gotta work through your issues. They're not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I know that I've known Derek forever, and I know that he's okay. Like, I don't worry that he's super depressed, but in the back of my mind, I see the pattern of behavior that says I isolate away from people, and the more you isolate away from people, the less exposure you have to those triggers that make you insecure. And so the kind of brattier you'll be, meaning you don't need anyone,
Yeah.
and everyone, it is human nature to be social.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then you should at least reflect upon what it is that you don't like, so you can kind of work through that. My concern is he will never have another person to bring into our commune when it's built. Like, it's just going to be him. He's just going to be the IT guy that just takes care of the town, or the commune takes care of us, but still is just in a cave somewhere that we
Yeah.
locate him, and periodically we go and check on him.
That's literally every IT guy ever.
I know, and
Wow.
he lives that stereotype, like, totally.
Every IT guy ever, even.
But that's not true, because technically I'm an IT guy. I am a bio
Yes, but this
computer
stereotypical IT guy.
IT guy.
Every IT guy I've seen in my life was like that, unless he was like an actual, like, fully grown man and not just some millennial.
Well, Derek is a fully grown man.
I mean, like, a kid.
Okay, I was like, what? All right, okay.
It's like, I've seen like
Yeah,
the
for
50-year-old
reference,
ones that
Derek's
know what they're
right.
doing, and then there's the kids that also know what they're doing, but they're also like, they don't care. They're just
Yeah,
giving my
that's true.
$5.
I just, you understand where my concern is. Is it similar to, like, you, whenever you were isolating for a long time and only just talking to people online?
You know?
How that was, how, you weren't seeing people? This is before quarantine. Now, bless your heart. Bless your heart. Because everything you've been prepping for your whole life, you're now totally prepared for. You've been doing online your whole life, Whereas people like me, who are used to being social.
Yeah, people are like
I miss
my-
people.
my therapist was like, wow, you can do this Zoom thing really fast. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, I use Skype. And he says that was like, what, 7 years ago?
Oh my God, yeah. Well, look, it's a process for some of us, okay? And, you're teaching us fogies.
Fogies?
The old fogies, the ropes, I guess. But in that context, do you feel like it is more beneficial to be isolative in nature?
Yeah.
Just naturally want to kind of go within yourself. Is it better to be more introspective, or is it better to be more the other direction, to where you're more aware of everything, of environment and stuff? And I ask you that because you have a unique perspective, because you have Asperger's.
Well, there's an opportunity cost to each. It's like with online, you talk to people online for a while, more than you talk to people in real life. You learn, like, everyone kind of falls into a different category, and you're able to see it.
Like a click.
Yeah, and you know how to deal with them, but they also, like, in person, can't do it.
But that's because they can.
Even though they know how, they can't do it.
But that's because they can have a persona online,
Yeah.
and all their insecurities are gone as long as they keep up that persona.
Yeah.
But that's not genuine, and you can't form a genuine relationship. Or do you think that you can?
No, you gotta, like, I think it's possible, but you gotta really try hard, and you gotta know how to manage yourself, and your partner has to know how to manage themselves.
So,
which is basically automatically requires you to be at least 30 something years old.
so what do you feel like then, from your viewpoint, you have to remind yourself so you don't get stuck in just that cyber friendship? What do you have to remind yourself of to start participating in things again?
Um,
Because like I said, you've been training for a pandemic your whole life. You just didn't know it. It's just because you're you of all people having Asperger's have internet addiction, and you did for a long time, and so you absolutely know how to do all that crap that some people don't even think about,
yeah.
um, and so you've been ready for this, and now that it's here and you're able to easily navigate it, but other people aren't, is that more beneficial?
No,
Or
that's such a that it's like with computers. That's such a like that a small thing in the real human sphere. You're either getting this little 10%, which is computers, and you're just skipping out all the 90%, which is
Yeah.
everything else that's not computers.
Do you regret, now that you're more aware, do you regret having been so wrapped up in friendships online and not real world friendships?
Um, I'm not sure because back then I was actually quite content with my friendships. However,
Oopsie.
um, however, I was like a huge crybaby.
What do you mean
So,
a crybaby?
I cried
Sensitive?
I think I mean I cried
Triggery?
like uh, yeah, basically it's not like someone would say something to me. It wasn't that bad in once I got to third grade or no fourth fifth grade. Didn't get that bad. That kind of went away, but people would have to do things or I'd have to get in trouble, and immediately like I start crying and whining.
Do you know why?
Uh, I well the feeling of getting in trouble was really bad, of course, for any kid. But like I was way too old to be doing that.
Do you, do you think maybe you weren't conditioned into knowing what it was to go against something? Like, because you were always a pretty good kid.
Yeah, I
you
wasn't conditioned.
Yeah, you never
that.
really deviated from a routine.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine you really getting in trouble other than when you throat punched that kid in kindergarten or preschool. What kindergarten?
I don't remember.
Yeah, kindergarten.
Why was that again?
It was Miss Butler's class,
Miss
who then
Butner.
was later
Miss
no.
Butner.
Oh,
Or
Miss
no,
Butner.
or was at the school? Oh my god.
Wow. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure. Well, it was Miss Davis.
Miss Davis. That was my
Miss
pre-K.
Davis,
That was
yes.
my pre-K.
And do you know Miss Davis ended up being Lucas's teacher right before we left Fort Bragg? But she has a new name. She had a new name. She got married, and she remembered us. And what was weird is we had moved to Germany and moved back.
Crazy.
Yeah, because it was when you were in pre-K or kindergarten. God dang it, kindergarten. And the aide worked with her.
The aide.
The Hispanic aide.
Miss
Yeah.
I thought she was always saying Miss Mosquito, but that's not her name. She was like.
Well, a
Spanish
shout
name.
out to them because they were super, super cool.
Yeah, I remember.
But yeah,
cool.
that was really good experiences. But back to the original point, you were saying at that school was the time that you can identify you were overly sensitive to probably criticism.
Kindergarten, pre-K.
That's a normal thing.
All the way up till I was probably about. Oh no, never mind.
Honestly,
I'm thinking about all the times now, and it's like, from like physically crying, probably about like 12, 13. That's when it stopped, and then, but when it comes to like, still getting feelings hurt, but you don't cry, up to like 15.
Why? What changed? Your awareness?
Yeah, basically. It's like people online. I'll tell you, they'll tear you apart,
Yeah.
and especially if they know something or two about you, and so it
You
kind
know,
of,
though,
in a way, it prepares you for taking criticism in real life because like people have yelled all kinds of fancy obscenities at me, and literally I'm just chill with it. I'm like, yeah, whatever, man.
because you know it's their issue entirely, right?
And yeah, and it's not only that; it's just that it's like, really, that's it. Like,
Okay, you
wow,
realize though you lack social awareness. Like
yeah,
you're behind the curve in social awareness. So the fact that you're actually able to identify that somebody is intentionally being mean
yeah.
is kind of amazing. Shout out to Miss Brittany for that, right? And Miss Carol. So looking at it in hindsight, why do you just really think it's because you lacked exposure to it?
Um, I guess. I remember crying like every time I'd get in trouble for anything.
Yeah, you
All
really
the
did.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. I got in trouble a lot because of behavior. I had behavioral issues, some kind of behavioral
Well,
issues.
the only behavioral issue you had was you said exactly unfiltered what was happening. And people didn't understand that because we did not have you with a diagnosis and a
Yeah.
504 or an IEP because you were above the class, you know, but you still got bullied because you were above the class. Um, and
I
looking
don't
at
even
it,
remember being above the class. I never even got that good
yeah,
at grades.
well, that has nothing to do with your intelligence. That was all application. That's why we're always telling you we know you're smart
Oh.
enough to do this crap. You're just lazy.
Oh, you mean, I thought you meant like actually above the class, like in the system, not like.
No.
Oh no, I never thought of myself as above the class.
I know you didn't, but that's also why you never try.
Mm.
You know, because if you just pretend like you don't know stuff, then you don't have to do stuff. That's the pure essence of laziness. You just say I don't know, and the more you say I don't know, the less work you have to do. Because when you say I don't know, it means I want someone to find out for me. But when you say I don't know, but let me find out, and then you actually go and find out, you ask questions instead of waiting for someone to just tell you. That's the awareness thing. That's the awareness of others, your social awareness. So when people have a request and they make a request to you, you can receive it because you also make requests of others.
Yeah.
And so when you form an online friendship and you're requesting things of them and they don't fulfill those things, is it the same as in person? Do you understand what I mean? Can you equate the two? Can someone fulfill the same requests that you would have in a friendship online that they
No.
could in person? What could they not meet? What for friendship?
Hey man, I need a ride home.
Oh
Oh wait, you live in Australia.
Hey, yeah, that's a good one.
That's the primary one, and it's like the lack of face to face, hearing their voice. That takes away from it.
Ooh, how many times have you had an online friend that when you chatted for the first time, you heard their voice for the first time, it was not at all what you thought they were going to sound like?
Yeah, there's this just some kid I met on a game, and and you can tell he's a kid. He's in chat yelling about whatever stupid crap, and so later on, I'm in a voice chat with a bunch of other people, and he joins and starts talking, and he's like 18 years old, and I'm like, oh my god. Yikes! All right.
Well, you know what? Most people think that I'm a chick when they
Oh,
talk to
all
talk
these
to me.
years.
Yeah, I know, right? So, but it's okay. I don't take offense to it because I don't really care what people think I sound like. I take a shot in my leg every single week. And
I'd be mad. I'd be like, dang it.
And if this is the voice that doing that does, then so be it.
Yeah.
But seriously though, if you can't have the same type of friendship online that you can in person, what have you done to start navigating that? Because you're not near as internet dependent as you used to be. You wait till the pandemic to decide that, oh, I want to be social now. Yeah.
Poor timing.
Dick move, Quentin.
Oh, that's my fault. Okay. Okay.
But how
I'll bring
do
it back
you...
here, and then I'll hold the whole house hostage. Yeah, I want a helicopter.
How do you navigate that, though? How are you okay right now socially? Because it's got to suck for teenagers, especially ones like you who are just starting to be social.
and then they're the ones that don't care, and then that's how they die.
And your senior year. This is your senior year.
What happened? Oh, never mind. That's for later. Give me a note thing. And
a note thing and a pen.
But,
good luck. We're all counting on you. He can't talk and write. Neither can
yeah, I can't.
But you're talking.
Only a little bit. Okay.
All right.
Am I retarded? Okay.
Don't say that.
Or
you have Asperger's.
Yeah.
You're special that way. Anywho, you were saying.
What was I saying?
I couldn't tell you. I was more interested in the note paper and the pen. I was talking to you about how are you able to navigate being social right now during the pandemic when you're just starting to become social. How does that feel, or what are you experiencing?
Well, people are
strange when you're a stranger.
It's kind of annoying,
Faces
like wearing masks
when you're alone. Oh, sorry.
Are you done?
Yeah. Okay.
It's annoying, like wearing masks everywhere you are, but at the friend's house.
Oh, I gotcha.
And it's like, depending on the friend, the parents are all different, and so they all care a different amount about the pandemic. There's some that absolutely still don't let any kids in to this day, and there are some that are just like, COVID doesn't exist.
We're in the middle. We're in the middle because I have the business at home. My part's isolated. After the kids leave, I clean, sanitize, all that stuff. So anybody that comes in here into the office is perfectly, comfortable to not wear a mask, typically, they say. And I have an air purifier that's usually going. In the early podcast it was going, that's what was so loud. But it also has the UV and all that stuff. But those friends that you go over to their houses and their parents just don't give a crap, do you protect yourself?
I kind of get worried, but I usually don't bring anything to actually protect myself with other than washing my hands.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm talking about. You can follow a common sense protocol.
Yeah.
You don't have to freak out and say, oh, I have to do this or I don't. You can very easily say, hey, I'm not comfortable, and leave if you want to.
Yeah.
But you're comfortable enough because you're smart enough. You have critical thinking skills that have kept you healthy so far. You did get scarlet fever, though. You, of all people, the person who is totally the least social creature, you got scarlet fever. How old were you? 9?
I think so,
Because wasn't it before you got your big screen?
No, it was when I had my big screen.
Okay, so then you...
And I was pretty sweet. I get to stay home from school for summer vacation for another 3 weeks.
Yeah, because you got it the day school started.
The day school started.
It's are you crazy?
That was awesome. I was thank the Lord.
You looked like a chipmunk. I still have the pictures. I will bring them up sometime. But your cheeks were this big. It was nuts.
And I didn't even feel it, and I didn't care. I was sitting there playing my video games, my
and
Xbox 360.
Your Aunt Shani was so scared for your life. She just knew you were going to die. She always knows. She knows you're dying. Right now, you're dying.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got so super sick. It was scary there for a little while because you also have what's called pandas. You don't have it now because you're not a juvenile anymore. You've matured out of it. But that I think has played a part
So
of
these
your
like rough
awareness
patches on my
too.
skin will just be gone at some point.
No,
Because
the skin, the physical things will always be there, but you won't quite have the obsessive behavior. If y'all don't know what
okay.
pandas is, look it up. It stands. I'm trying to remember what it is. Pediatric something. Crap. It's been a while. Anyway, it's because he had the strep virus so strong that it caused a whole lot of disruption, and he began to exhibit obsessive compulsive behaviors like me. We thought that it was just learned behaviors from me or that it was a genetic thing, but it turns out the doctor isolated it was this pandas thing, and he went on a course of antibiotics for a while. When the symptoms got bad, it would control them, so that was pretty good. That's so we knew, in other words, that's truly what it was, because the treatment was effective. And then you just had to grow out of it. But anywho, that all is resulting from stupid scarlet fever.
Yeah.
And where did you get it, Quentin?
Chuck E. Cheese's, man. That place is suspicious.
That
It's
place,
not a good place.
Yeah, and that was Chuck E. Cheese in North Carolina, in Fayetteville, guys.
Fayetteville,
North Carolina. So y'all look that up. That is where he got scarlet
in
fever.
Fayetteville.
Yeah, it was unpleasant. Sorry, I'm sure the place could be clean. Well, it's probably closed right now. But
I thought we lived on where was it where we lived
we lived.
across from Ari?
That was in Linden Oaks,
Yeah,
which is part
Linden
of Fort
Oaks.
Bragg. It was actually called Cameron.
I thought we were in Linden Oaks.
Well, we weren't in Linden Oaks, but Fayetteville is the town outside of Linden Oaks. Linden Oaks was the
Okay.
neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, that's interesting. But now, what do you do to pass your time since you're not being social? Are you getting back into the internet addiction? I know you're on like Discord and all that a lot.
Yeah, and it's not that I go out of my way to be on it. I just have two monitors, so I have Discord on one, and I'm playing the game on the other, watching YouTube, whatever. So it's just always up when my computer's on.
Do you think that if there were a group here right now in Highland that was like a group of teens that said, "Hey, we're gonna all get together. Why don't you come hang out?" Would you do it?
Yeah, I do. I'd be like, well, this is new. Look at that.
And that's why we're not letting you. COVID, Quentin. COVID.
I mean, if there were a bunch of people I didn't know, I'd be like, well, give me the backstory on exactly why you're inviting me.
Yeah, there's COVID parties.
Oh, it's because I have money, isn't it?
Because you have money. Yeah, because you have had a job for how long? Did you have it?
I had it since July 31st.
July 31st, look at that. And you just put in your 2 weeks because it's difficult for you.
I didn't just put it in.
Oh, well, okay, you just had your last
left.
day.
Yeah, I mean, last day.
We're not going to talk about where you worked. Most people know where you worked because obviously you were sponsored by them for a while. But
that was such a dumb joke.
But, you know, you've applied for a couple places and you're about to get another job. How does that feel? You're about to be
I'm
back in the
scared
mix.
again. The same kind of scared when you get your first job, because now this is not a Dairy Queen, and it's not going to be the people I know. So now it seems like,
Didn't we just say that? Didn't we just say that we weren't going to? I don't care. I'm teasing you.
oh, my bad.
I'm
I
teasing
totally
you.
didn't even.
Everybody knows that you worked at Dairy Queen. It's not a shameful thing. Anyway,
Oh,
go
that's
ahead.
a shameful thing.
No, I said it's not.
Well, but you, okay, whatever. So I don't know, because I don't like the idea of retail, but
A lot of people don't.
I think
You do realize that I have a retail business.
what bothers me is that Dairy Queen
Sacred Groves
was on like easy mode
Lotions,
the whole time I
potions,
worked
holistic
there.
notions.
Dairy Queen was on easy mode because the lobby was closed, so it was
Yeah.
only drive-through on easy mode. A lot of places went only drive-through, but at some point I was told that the lobby was going to open again, and I was like, oh, that'll be fun, but I didn't realize how bad it will be. And
So when
it
the
would
lobby
be,
opened
and so
back-
then at some point some of them like described, oh yeah, like during the summer in the lobby, I was just like, oh no.
So you
I don't want to work
started
here when it's open.
So you started to get really anxious. So it went beyond being scared of it goes beyond being
Yeah.
scared of a new
But
job.
it was
Now it's
like, that was at the start of when I worked, and it had been months, and they still hadn't opened it. But it's just, I'm not going to be here for when all hell breaks loose.
yeah.
See
Well,
y'all.
you're going to be at a new job.
Yeah.
So how does that feel thinking about that? Because, the vaccine's coming. Things will have some normalcy, by this next year. So you'll be working now during the pandemic, during an influx, as a matter of fact. So you'll be working. How does that feel?
I don't know. Since I'm just a wagey, probably not that good, considering I don't get paid based on the quality of my work, but rather by the hour.
Yeah. So maybe
it doesn't matter how many customers come in. I just rather the least amount possible.
Yeah. So right now you're just looking for under the radar type job.
Yeah.
So anybody
like
comment if they need an under the radar type guy, but I am going to hire you if you want to be a delivery driver as soon as you can get your license.
I don't want to work for my dad's company. I don't know. The company business.
You're ugly.
It feels
You're
weird.
Ugly. You're ugly. You're ugly.
I have bad stories with it.
I don't even care.
From other friends who have had similar situations.
Well, Alex has worked for me.
Yeah, but Alex is also way more responsible than I am.
That is the truth. I'm glad you recognize it. And yeah, I would probably be angry with you a lot. Yeah, I can see that's the right decision, Clinton. Just that yes.
I know myself.
Smart move. But you're changing.
So, I've like the idea Alex had for that. Well, what even is it? It's a pharmacy or something?
What are you talking about?
She was applied to there. It was this weird, obscure building that looks like a house, but there's a big sign and a lot out front.
Are you talking about the health store?
The health store, is that what it was?
I can't believe you just said all that when that is like the best place on earth.
I had no idea it was even there. I would always see the sign and be like, whatever.
That's your
awareness. And I never even looked over there.
Yeah, that's a great place. That's a fantastic place.
What's in there?
Natural and holistic stuff.
Okay.
Why don't you go in there?
But I don't know. It's like
Google it.
I bet that they don't get a lot of business like Walmart. So
Of course not, because why would they? Not a lot of people really
local
care.
Business, yeah.
And
so it's just like, oh, I work there.
You
but
could.
Alex already did it, so I'm just.
Well, I'm sure that if you put you put your intention out there of what you want, then you're going to notice it more. In other words, if you start focusing on what you want, you're going to notice it.
You're going to notice, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. It's happened to me a few times.
Yeah, so you just have to do that. And kind of I don't know, tangent, if you will. I should say I was not actually saying that Derek is depressed and lonely. I'm saying that my concern is always that Derek is depressed and lonely because I don't know what it's like to be an only child. Sort of 6 years gap between me and the siblings, so I don't really know. But I do want to say that before we stop, because I love you, Derek, and yeah, I wasn't trying to crack on you, but you know that I worry. I always ask you if you've got anyone in your life, so it just made me think of that. And I know that you worry sometimes too about your friends and whether they have people or not in their lives. Do you think that they worry about you? Because you're single right now.
They don't really actively worry. Only if I show it, which I 98% of the time do not.
So, do they ever say, "Hey, Quentin, you're on your computer a lot more," or
no,
because they're kind of your group too?
Yeah, no, they don't notice that.
Do you think that maybe if you had friends that did notice that you might pull yourself out a little bit more?
I don't know.
Like,
Sometimes I'm like, yeah, no, go away. That sounds like too much work.
like your friend R. Your friend R, whenever he wants to go out and do stuff, he'll say, hey, let's go do blah, blah, blah. He'll say that to you, and then you have that choice. And he's one of those local friends.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't really have that option online. And if you do,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of effort for you to go from point A to point B and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you're willing to do it if they're worth the effort.
I've kind of been thinking about what I would need to save to go see Lewis.
Oh, that's a good idea, and that's a good goal to save for.
You hear that? I'm coming for you.
Oh,
I'm gonna shill it out to him, and then he's gonna go to that.
There you go. Well, I think that we've had a pretty good conversation. You?
Yeah.
Is there anything cool you want to add? I know that you would say if anyone else is struggling, they can always hit you up. How can they get a hold of you? If somebody's struggling with kind of the same things that you're struggling with, and they want to reach out and go, oh, I want to be your friend, they can comment on our video.
I'll make a business account on Discord.
No.
If it's a teenager,
yeah. But what
they
I'm
most likely
saying,
have Discord, or I could say Snapchat.
or they could comment and Snapchat. Yeah.
I would rather not do that in the YouTube comments.
Well, no. What I'm saying is they can comment, and then you can get a hold of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then you'll know.
We could just SMS at the end of the day anyway.
Yeah. There you go. So you're out there. They can find you. And today is what? What is tonight?
Right, it's Thursday.
It's pizza night. So I'm done here. I'm ready for pizza. Thank you, Quentin. And guys, thank you.
Thank you.
New hair.
Blue.
Your hair is blue. Blue hair.
So also got my ears dyed.
Yeah, ears dyed and everything.
How
anyway,
exciting.
Wanted to give you the reveal. So there it is. Alex dyed her hair.
And I cut my
Blue.
nails.
Oh, good job.
Thank you.
Okay. Maybe she'll be on the next one with another curious guest,
Should I say?
TJ.
TJ also got a haircut.
TJ also got a haircut. And
I got my
he's
hair in
had
the back.
same style forever.
All of his life he's had the same style. And finally, he's almost 18. Like a couple of months.
Couple months from being
Then
18,
he changed
and
his
he
hair.
changed his hairstyle.
Finally.
He looks very, very handsome.
Like a male model.
Okay. No, that is
I think
not
he looks
what
like a male model.
That is not what I was going to say. I was going to say he looks very mature and responsible, respectable, and nice and clean. He looks great. Not like Justin Bieber.
He was
saying.
getting the mullet back. He was getting a mullet. You should have seen whenever she clipped. It just... And then it was like this long whenever it fell on the ground. I was like, God.
That's gross. Like thinking about hair, gross.
Gross.
Yeah.
I think we should get him set up
Roadhouse.
next with a haircut like mine, short in the back, long everywhere else.
No.
Why not?
Okay. No, because I like him. All right. We're done here. Guys, please subscribe and push the little bell, for you, Joe.
Just
Because
hit
I know,
that bell button.
Joe, I know that you have a hard time with all of this. So I'll go slow. Look, you've already subscribed to my channel. And now you hit the little bell, and each time you like the video, that helps me. It helps me help you, Joe. But
Make sure whenever you tap or click on the bell button, you click all notifications.
all, so I can bug you all the time.
Every time he uploads.
There you go, Joe. That's for you, man. Oh, I appreciate all your comments, and of course your wonderful daughter Emily too. All of your love that you send. It's great stuff. So keep sending it, and I'll keep making these videos for y'all. So there you go. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you.